Hello everyone, welcome to the latest episode of our podcast. My name is Jana, I'm sitting here with
Benne, what's the crack?
and also we have our first guest.
Julian Buono, also known as Fingerboard Buono. Yeah.
Sweet, nice to have you here.
Yeah, pleasure. And yeah, we're gonna talk to you or about you a bit later.
And with
First
you.
of all, and also with you. First of all, we have to have some upkeeping to do. First of all, we decided to change our name. It was brought to our attention that there was a distribution and board company called Fingersized. Like they've been inactive since years, but yeah, we decided still we don't want any affiliation between us, and we aren't affiliated with them. And yeah, we decided to change our name. As of this recording, we're still a bit unsure what exactly it's going to be, but that's where you come in. We have two names or proposals where we want to let you choose our new name. Those two names are
Switchcraft or Twisted Fingers.
Boom! Big review.
and we're gonna make a post on Instagram and gonna let you choose, and whichever one wins, we're probably choosing as a new name. So, but let's get to the real start of the episode. This week, a lot of stuff happened, and because of that, we decided to move our news section up a bit, and we also brought in a guest who's quite affiliated with the topics that we're going to talk about, or not affiliated. He knows a bunch of stuff and
Got a bit of inside information and been pretty close to the whole German scene for about 10 years. So I think I've got me 2 cents to pence in.
exactly. So there were a few topics with Blackriver last week. We're going to start with their new trucks. Blackriver announced that they're gonna distribute or publish 34mm trucks.
Did they announce them though? They just dropped them as far as I remember.
Yeah, they just announced them or they just posted them on the site. I don't even know if it was intentional that it became public so quickly. But yeah, basically everyone on Instagram was talking about that after a few hours probably. And yeah, a few days later, I think even they announced it properly on Instagram.
Still, it seems like the Blackriver marketing department has a little bit of reworking to do there, innit? Anyway.
Yeah, and then a post surfaced on Instagram that showed that the 34mm trucks don't really measure 34mm. And I took the liberty of measuring them myself, because I bought them as well. And mine actually measure in about 33-ish. Yeah.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do, what up?
And yeah, it's a bit, it makes a bit more sense when you think about that Berlin wood, which Blackriver is affiliated with, only has 33.3mm boards.
I'm interested though now, since you started laughing when Buono came up. What's up with that? Can you dive into that?
No, I basically can't. I've been in the Berlinwood team for 5 years, but I don't think 34mm Berlinwoods are in planning, and I think they've just released a bunch of new graphics and a special, and I think they've got their hands full at the moment, Timo, the mastermind behind Berlinwood, is crafting day and night basically, so I don't think there's any new stuff coming around the corner anytime soon.
So would you say that they're sort of built to cater the overall market then? Because other companies have 34mm. Maybe it's for them?
Well, I mean, if you've got 33mm Buono woods and your trucks measure 33, then it's quite fitting, isn't it?
Fair point.
This whole thing has started kind of with the American market developing 34mm popsicle shaped decks. That has kind of become the main groove over the last 3 years or something. So I think they basically wanted to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, but still, I also don't think that it's a coincidence that Blackriver publishes 33.5mm or whatever it exactly is trucks when Berlinwood has 33.3mm boards, and I have mine, or I held mine to a Berlinwood of that size, and they do fit quite well. So, yeah, make of that what you will. But it took me a bit by surprise, and also I then started measuring my dynamic 34mm trucks, and they also measured in about 33.5mm. So, or 33.3, something in between that. So, I don't think it's I don't want to blame just Blackriver, because I think it's more of a market thing, but I just don't get why you market them as 34, because it probably only pisses people off who have 34mm boards, and I wouldn't have minded them saying we just release 33.3, because that's what we produce as a company for boards, so yeah.
Like, let me rephrase the bandwagon thing. The scene is deeply in lack of companies that actually produce professional fingerboard trucks, because it's the most complicated asset of a setup in general. You just have to put bearings in a wheel and shape the wheel. That's it. You just have to glue plies together. I don't want to dismiss the other components of a setup, but
the
still,
craftsmanship. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to actually have access to some serious metal craftsmanship to produce trucks, and yeah. And another issue with the Blackriver trucks, which is quite common, like 50-50 it seems, but I could be wrong on that, is that the axle pin is actually too short. Like, a few Instagram users over the last couple of days have got trucks that are wider, the hanger is wider, but the axle pin is just a bit too short, so the what's it called? The knot doesn't actually fit quite well, so it's a bit too short.
yeah, but to disclose, I have a pair of 34mm. I'm gonna call them 34 for now, because that's what they're branded. But
And it's easier to say.
yeah, it is. And on those, I have no problem with the base plate, what people were complaining about, and also I don't have a problem with the axle pin. Also, Blackriver said that the kingpin is longer, which some people don't really like, but I have to say I don't really see the difference when I look
Honestly?
at my...
Oh, I've seen a difference in Ramon's board, and he's got smaller wheels than I have.
Wait, the thing is, I got my first set of 32mm Blackriver trucks after riding my set for 5 years, so it was a bit of a time lapse, you know. But still, the pivot is 1.2 millimeters longer.
And that's a lot.
Talking about fingerboards. That's
Yeah,
ooh,
of
That's
course, but
insane.
I just don't see it when I look at my two
I feel
two
it.
trucks.
I feel that my kicks are later on the ground when I ride. It's actually a performance thing for me. I've actually got my new set of 32mm trucks, and I've sanded them down because I've never had problems with pivot cups outbreaks, like the pin leaving the pivot cup. And honestly, I loved the feeling of a low setup That's something I strive for in my setups, and I was kind of a bit put off.
Yeah, I also thought that I would mind that, but just having my setup in hand, I don't really feel or see the difference. Make of that what you will. Like we said, some people feel the difference. I don't feel it at all. I also don't see it, but I know that Blackriver announced that it's longer, and I haven't measured that part of my truck yet. So I think I'm gonna believe them on that part. And yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap up the truck topic now, because we have a lot more things to cover.
There are two things I would like to bring up as well. What do you guys think of the new ramps? What is that? What do you think of these?
Ramps?
The quarter pipe?
Can you call
the
them-
bluish one,
Why
and
plural? I don't get you.
The what?
Why are you talking about ramps in plural? They dropped a quarter pipe.
And these pyramid things. Remember?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
calling it a ramp is a bit of a...
Oh,
It's-
no, you
it's
mean
more
the
like-
stop. Yeah, these things. That's what I mean, actually.
Yeah, like a book weight or a paperweight, or I have
That
no.
pyramid thing. I
And
mean,
to-
it's available in 2 colors. You have to give them that.
And to come back to the marketing department, honestly, it wasn't a smart move to put a fingerboard for reference on the side of it. Honestly, you can clearly see that thing's not rideable. What do you want to do on that? A 50 on the slope.
Well, the thing is, the base is, as far as I can tell from the image, not even as long as a fingerboard. So I see
Something like
myself
8 centimeters.
pretty much
Yeah.
like, and the height is, I don't know, I'd say
15 to 16, I'd say, yes.
So that thing's gonna tip over like mad.
Yeah, probably.
Great. Won't even be a good doorstop because the weight can't hold the door. Dang, what's the point then?
Yeah, well,
It's still fun. It's still fun, I guess.
Yeah,
it's better that way.
I have no idea what you should do with that obstacle, other than maybe light on the side and use it as a curb. But that's like the only thing, and even that isn't, I hope, isn't what it was intended for. Because other than that, maybe like a tail tap or something, like doing an ollie over it, but that's it.
And still, even if you would do that, it's not in scale. You don't jump something like 1.5 your board lengths in height, and then just do it the tail tap.
Yeah,
That's I've got more fun with a little shopping cart than with that.
Yeah.
To be honest, and those things are wiggly as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other ramp that they dropped is a quarter, and I think it's they say it's a ceramic quarter. At least that's what they market it as. And I was surprised when I saw that one,
Why?
because it reminded me on other ramps, and also the lip at the bottom, like where you roll into it, seems like you would hang up on there pretty much all the time. But yeah, I haven't ridden that yet, and I just can say I'm not really that hyped about that.
You know, growing up into fingerboarding at a start where the Berlin scene was just blooming, I grew up with Harrier ramps, you know, and I've got quite a collection of them, to be honest, and those are like the smoothest handmade obstacle you can possibly get. It's a shame we don't get batches of Harrier that often, but still, I mean, doing a ceramic quarter using material of a ramp brand you were once affiliated with, and doing like the exact same riffling on the top and stuff like that, it just seems weird.
Yeah, it seems really weird.
There's one thing I can see this quarter be doing well. Is imagine some sort of street park, right? And you got this thing sitting in the corner, and where the lip is, you put a bit of concrete over, so it looks like a street spot that a rough street spot that you fix so that you can skate it. That would be cool though, because a little patch of concrete on the edge of the lip so that you can roll up.
I
That'd be
don't really have
awesome.
an issue
it would
with-
fit a good scene, you know. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, I don't really have an issue with the ramp itself, more that it just seems like really familiar, and I don't think that the lip, like the bottom lip, that one seems like really high with fingerboard scale in mind.
Yeah,
And
about like 3 millimeters.
Yeah, and Harrier rams, which we think this looks very close to, they are pretty much famous for their very thin bottom, like, yeah,
Thin
lip.
bottom. That's great.
Bottom lip. Anyway,
And they tend to chip on that because they're so thin, which is a whole another discussion. But yeah, I don't really know how
I
this
mean, you
will.
could still sand it.
Yeah,
I've
you
done
can.
that on
You-
some
you can.
Harriers of mine.
Fair
Yeah,
point.
no, I don't know how this Blackriver ceramic quarter will feel, and yeah, but I haven't ridden it yet, or none of us have. So yeah,
It's a bit of an opinion issue, you know. It's like anyway. I mean, the ramp is probably totally fine.
Yeah. but-
Even a great ride. That's
Yeah.
not what we're arguing. It's just
It feels odd to see it. But I can see myself buying that thing and give it a try, because I don't know.
me neither.
Well, I can see myself.
Oh
Oh,
no, I won't.
okay,
I
no,
won't, to be
I
honest.
won't.
Alright, I'll do it then, right? So we have at least one person there.
So we've got at least one competent opinion on it.
Yeah,
Alright,
but
fair enough.
speaking of Blackriver and all that fuzz, there was another announcement that was related to Blackriver. Martin Winkler decided to leave the company. Martin Winkler is the founder of Winkler Wheels, which
Modern fingerboarding.
and yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
he's like the granddaddy of fingerboarding. Like he did it back before it was even a thing, basically. And even
Yeah.
back when I was in the scene before my break, Winkler was like the guy, and he was there for everyone. He was at all events he could manage, and yeah, Winkler was always around, and his wheels were basically the only real option of wheels you had, other than
Clockwork Dici.
and-
Holy football.
yeah. So it's kind of a big deal, especially for us who have been in the scene for a while and know Martin Winkler. It's we don't really know the details. That's why we're not gonna go into it like too deeply, but we all felt like the quality of Winkler wheels was rather lacking in the past few years. Like when I came back to fingerboarding, I bought myself a Berlinwood with Blackriver trucks and Winkler wheels. The first thing I replaced were the wheels, and yeah, they just aren't as great as they once were, and we don't know if that's going to change. If Martin has like
Martin teased he actually wants to
Continue.
take up and continue the whole Winkler Wheels business by himself. We don't know how realistic that is, how times are gonna proceed, but that's not a bad thing.
yeah, it's
On the contrary, I think, if you get great Winkler wheels again, maybe I will switch.
yeah, that would be cool, but I don't think we will hear or see anything about that in the near future. And yeah, we will keep you posted when we hear anything. or when-
Exactly, it's gonna take a bit because
Yeah.
Winkler and his quality management is just something that is so alien. Like the old Clockwork DG, and he's got like the maddest customer service ever. You could actually just walk up to an event to him and say, "Oi, I've got this little bearing slip on this one wheel," or whatever you had, and he would just replace the whole set.
Yeah, like for example, like years ago, it was I think one of the first batches of Winkler wheels. I lost one of mine, and I saw him at a different event and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy another one," and yeah, he said, "No, you're not gonna buy one," and gave me one and gave me one extra, and that's
Nice.
how Winkler worked, and we will see what happens to that in the future.
Right.
But now let's talk about our guest a bit more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we have this section called Back in My Day. And both Ben and I have been in the scene since a while, but we both did a break. And you started or came up
Exactly at that time.
right after we stopped. And yeah, so why don't you catch us up with what we missed since, like, let's say 2008?
I think I'm gonna try to keep things short. I've started in late 2006 with my first tech deck, and then I got my first Buono wood, which were still produced in Berlin from the Schreiner guy, whatever. Like my first Buono wood, and that was an amazing
Schreiner's
deck.
carpenter, isn't it?
Yeah, carpenter.
Woodworker.
Oh, right. Anyway,
that's too straightforward. Anyway, let's continue. The dude built stuff out of wood.
yeah, that was
Schreiner thing.
that was like my first setup I got, and that started me into fingerboarding and doing proper tricks and actually ollieing and doing my first kick flips and grinds, and then and then I kind of went on a break also because I just wasn't that much into social media at that time. I was kind of young. I was something like 12. Anyway, it just wasn't. The scene wasn't that present and that immediate to arrive to. So I went on this little break, and then I came back in 2010 to my first fingerboard contest. That was the Asi Berlin 5.
Was that your first one? I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was Fast Fingers.
No.
Man.
Asi Berlin 5 was my whole introduction to the fingerboard scene, because we didn't have the Blackriver store at that point, and we just kind of. That was my first event, and that was the first contact with the scene, and it was amazing because you had that many people that were like-minded and totally chilled about everything and just having a good time together, and that's just like my first impression.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask, because back when we both were in the scene, fingerboarding was a lot of online based. So we were both from the countryside in Germany, and when I was around, like, I knew no one in the next, like, 100 kilometers, something like that. And everything we did was in a forum. It was like the fingerboard forum or
take me out of that. I was the weird kid. I'd rather play outside. I didn't have the internet back then.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah, for me it was
I have to be honest here. I
forums.
didn't have these forums as well. Like, social media back then was forums or forum message boards and
Yeah.
stuff, and I didn't have them. So I was even further away from all that scene thing.
Yeah, but what I was going to ask, because now Berlin is like one of the hubs of fingerboarding, and I think it's all or most of it is related to the store, or at least like today.
No, that's wrong. That's the point.
And that was what I was going to ask. Like,
Right.
how was the scene like formed, or like how did you have a place where you met up, or did you like come together at random outdoor spots, or did you just come together at events?
That's the thing. You've got some Berlin scene veterans that are namely Timo Kranz, Harald Schön, Ramon Angelo, and a couple of other guys. No, not at that point. Lieben was already in Schwarzenbach. So like, there was this longboard shop called Las Rollen, which is actually in the parallel of the Blackriver store.
I went there once, and everybody was mad at me for some reason. I don't know. Clear it up, please.
We'll come to that point later. Anyway, the thing was, they had this they had this massive fingerboard park in the back of the shop, which was in granite, and Harry and Timo namely, were organising sessions and Harry was filming, and I think that mixture of young talent, a serious quality video output, that's very important, because that was the big YouTube days, you know. Harry was Harry's channel, and by Harry I mean Harald, was just the hotspots on YouTube, you know. And so that's basically how it went down, because Las Rollen started to charge to go to ride a fingerboard session. And
Did they?
They did. They actually bloody went there. So all the kids kind of started retiring a bit, you know. And so Timo and Harry just went like, you know what? We'll do our own store. Next street. kind of. That's not how it actually went down. You know, there were certain clarifications with Blackriver and whatever, but that's basically how it went down. So the Blackriver store was formed, and I entered the scene shortly before that, on the first Aussie, which was in November. No, it was in September. Exactly. It was in September, the 10th, I guess, something like that. And the Blackriver store opened on December 5th that year, and it was amazing. Just plain amazing. I actually went there on the first day, and I couldn't believe that place was actually standing there, because it was just heaven on earth.
And
You
I
had
mean,
everything.
and that's kind of how it is today. Like, I know some always mourn its former glory or something like that, but I think it's still one of the most important spots where you have to be.
It is definitely.
Today.
But times back then were different. You just
Yeah,
had
that's what I mean.
regularly 50 people at a normal Saturday. That was like the standard, 20 to 50 people, and it was so fucking crowded you couldn't actually ride the parks. So you could say it has slightly improved on matters of riding, but
And space, because
and
now there's
space,
nobody
yeah,
in the way.
exactly. But still, it was the hot spot. You got contests going on and everything. It was amazing. Yeah, and then the actual boom came about, which was with the birth of the Blackriver store, kind of 2011 up to 2012, 13, I'd say, and that was the peak time, kind of. I remember standing on the staircase that leads to the Blackriver store cellar, on the after session of the Harrics. I guess it was the Harrics 3 exactly, and everyone has a clip in that montage from Harry, and it's something like 13 minutes, and
I
you
think
got
I've seen this one.
yeah, and it was filmed on Sunday, and you had this staircase which was completely full of people waiting their turn to do their tricks, and it was amazing. You had everyone in that fucking montage. Elias Asmuth, Mike Schneider, Dimitri Schlotthauer, Jay Linehan. Name them, they're there. They're just there. Yeldo Ulz, Adrian Witze, guys you don't see anymore.
I think
I mean, you see Yeldo and Adrian, but you got what I meant. Yeah.
maybe we should link you to the video so you can have a look. You can have a look at that as well. It's worth it. The 13 minutes definitely worth it. So here's one thing that I'm interested in, and I never asked you. I mean, we've been friends for a while now, and I never asked you really. And this is a very interesting thing. How did you get into the flow team of dang it, what's the name again? Blackriver. Christ.
Just for the record, that would also have been my next question, and I'm gonna extend that question with, and also, how did you get into the Berlinwood team?
I think that's a more important question, to be honest. The Berlinwood team, that was actually kind of always my dream. I've known Timo Lieben for a very long time, since he was regularly there. I mean, he's a Berliner, so he just came to visit the store and his parents and whatnot, his friends, you know.
Yeah, he still does that from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. So I just got in touch with him on smoke breaks, I guess, and I just went on to say, lad, I really fucking appreciate your decks, and I've always had. And that was like a relationship developing, you know. It first started kind of with just friendship, I guess, and then I just asked him for a specific deck because you didn't have 32mm boards at the time. The standard for Buono wood and Blackriver trucks was 29.
I remember that time, yeah.
So
Fondly.
you actually had to ask for a 32mm Berlin wood because they weren't available just for the pros, you know. Everybody like Elias and guys like that were riding 32mm, so you just wanted to try, you know, and it felt amazing, and that went on for a bit. And at the Aussie 6 or 7, I guess. No, wait. 7, definitely 7. I walked up to him and I was like, yeah, I've seen the special graphics you've dropped for the Aussie, and I'm kind of short on the cash side. Could we kind of put it in the store and I'll buy it later, you know? And he was just like, Buono, you know what? I wanted to do this for a bit. Just take that with you and take that as your first sponsor package. And
yeah.
I completely like dropped out of believing what was just happening to me. So that was amazing. And it's been 5 years. It's been an amazing amount of support and friendship over the years. I'm really grateful for that. For the Blackriver Flow team is a bit of a different issue, you know, because I actually never was asked by Martin Ehrenberger, like Ernie, the CEO of Blackriver. I was indirectly suggested through Andreas Hiesinger, or Hees, just Hees, yeah. Because he said, yeah, that dude's pushing the that dude's pushing the scene, for fuck's sake. And he's there every fucking Saturday. I mean, come on, he shows up, give him a bonus, you know, kind of like that. And I've never perceived an actual bonus or sponsor package or anything through the Blackriver Flow team. I'm just
On the
You're
website.
just-
I'm just on the website.
Which is a good thing,
I guess. I mean, but I wouldn't want to get a discount on Blackriver products because I namely just buy Blackriver trucks, to be honest. And if I can't support the Aussie Berlin shop through the full price, I'd actually like it to keep it that way.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I think,
that's it.
Yeah, and I think that also wraps up this portion. We're kind of running a bit long, but I just decided that it doesn't matter. So we just
Yes,
continue with our rapid fire section. So
Ooh.
get ready.
That's gonna be
Right.
fun.
I think I can answer most of them in my head for you, but let's see how good I do.
Yeah, I'm a bit opinionated.
So let's start with your favorite wheels.
Flat face.
Favorite deck or shape.
Buono 32mm low.
Alright, favorite flat trick.
Oh, switch front flip.
Alright, favorite trick on an obstacle.
Oh, momentarily switch flip front tail.
Favorite obstacle.
Blah, 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 Harry manual pad.
Alright, outdoor or indoor?
Indoor.
What's the Instagram name?
Julian Buono, written with Buono, with a like a bueno. But
I think we should drop it somewhere in the show
yeah,
description.
whatever.
Yeah.
Concrete or wood? What's your preferred?
Like a surface?
Yeah, I prefer surface.
Marble.
Sorry, mate,
Let's
it's
say
not on the
concrete.
list.
Let's say concrete. Concrete.
Maybe don't scream so loud that we don't blow anyone's ears off, but switch or regular?
Switch.
Flat ground or obstacle with flat ground with obstacle or park?
Flat ground with obstacle.
Ramen or burger? What do you prefer?
Ramen all the way.
Heel or kickflip?
What?
Heel or kickflip?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Heel.
Favorite fingerboarder?
Jay Linehan.
First contest?
Oof, Azzy Berlin number 5. But the first one I participated with was Fast Fingers 15.
Oh yeah, what's the last trick you learned?
Ooh, the flat grounds or
Well, I don't...
General?
Any
In
last
general.
switch flip front tail?
trick? What's the most hated switch heel flip you... sorry, what's the most hated trick you have?
Most hated trick is probably a frontside 360 shove it.
No hashtag fuck your switch heel.
Just to clarify on that, I don't dislike switch shields. It's a wonderful trick. Or else my favourite fingerboarder wouldn't be Jay Linehan, I guess. But that's just a comment on people skipping regular tricks and basics and just doing switch shields to grinds and not landing a kickflip lip slide.
Facebook fingerboard, sober or drunk?
Drunk but actually stoned.
it still counts. Game of skate or game of bacon?
Game of skate.
Or game of pizza?
Does it have the same? Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
it has the same amount.
If you ever...
I've go with the regular skate since you can't get a decent pizza in this fucking land.
By the way, he's Italian. I don't know if you can
Half
tell.
Italian.
Half Italian.
Well, still, the pizza is shite here in Germany, I learned from him.
Do you skate with your fingers tucked or stretched?
Tucked.
Well, you sponsors. I think we've gone over them.
Yeah, I think.
Another
Anything we
one.
missed?
What are your dream sponsors? Or do you have any?
Definitely flat face, and I'm getting keen on dynamics. I'd say.
Yeah, I like them as well. Favorite Instagram follow?
Like
Who would you
the person
suggest?
I would
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
suggest to follow.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be fingerboarding, can be any random nonsense.
we both named skaters.
Fuck me, that's a hard one.
And the next one, favorite
Oh!
overall company.
What?
Favorite overall company.
Flat face.
I think that's it so far with the rapid fire question.
Yeah, I had a question I wanted to ask, but then I skipped and now I can't remember the question. I should have noted that better in my head. Anyway,
Or in our note. So what was the question?
yeah, if I could remember, I'd ask them.
Okay.
Guess we have to skip on that one.
Yeah,
Wasn't very important then anyway.
Oh, by the way, go follow Yusuf Rad1 on Instagram. He's heavily supporting the Moroccan fingerboard scene and overall a fingerboard scene we don't know much of. And it's really amazing to see how people actually kind of try to spread fingerboard and the word in corners of the world that aren't that accessible, you know?
I have to check that out.
That's
I,
definitely a good tip. I already follow this lad.
I don't. So we have a few more news we have to cover. Not much, since we discussed lots of them at the start of the episode, but there are a few things. For example, both Fingerboard Store and Azzy Berlin restocked on flat face wheels and dynamic trucks, and I think FBS also restocked some other stuff.
FBS just did the most amazing thing. They just cut out a little piece of America and brought it back to Europe. That's what Kata did. That's
Yeah.
amazing. She just brought
Catfish.
uniques and catfish barbecues in different shapes and flat face, the actual flat face decks, you know, not just the wheels. So that was an amazing job. So if you want to grab on some goodies, even if you didn't go to Rendezvous, go check Kata out, or even like the Azzy Berlin store, who got a bit smaller stock, but still
Yeah, and for our
Dang, this will be
international
next month I'm broke.
for for our international listeners, just to state once again, we have a lot easier access with like Berlin woods, with Blackriver trucks, Winkler wheels, oak wheels, all that stuff. But all the
Try
American
to get us stacked.
yeah, like all of the American brands, like we have to import them usually and have to pay shipping, and it's
Wait.
quite it's quite expensive and not that easy to do. And I feel what you all Americans go through when you try to get Black road trucks or something like that. But for us, it's the same with Dynamics. So we're both sitting in the same boat.
Luckily, sometimes you just need a friend to get back some rendezvous goodies. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's a perk.
Yeah, and also there are new cowply graphics, but yeah, no real need to go over them in detail. You can check them out. Also, there's a small thing. There's this brand called Go Hard Fingerboard, and they've been making decks for a few years now. Nothing like too special, but the guy who makes the decks decided to stop selling them, and he's just giving them away for shipping now, because he's like, I don't really want to do this as a job, and I want to support all the kids getting into fingerboarding and don't really have the money to buy anything fancy. So he made the offer to just sell them for shipping, and that's it. And I think that's a really cool gesture, and yeah, that's basically all I wanted to cover about that one.
There's one last thing that we haven't covered yet. The Fingercan Halloween contest is over, and my co-host here made the 4th place.
Thank you.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to drop that out there, you know.
Yeah, since we're on that topic with the with our event section, which is a bit slow at this time of year, but we had a few wins in the past, like the contest that I got 4th, and I'm really excited and really looking forward to getting my prize package, because it's one of the first I ever had for fingerboarding.
And since I filmed, I get a cut.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you do actually.
That's good.
Yeah, and also there was the Asi Berlin store session a week ago.
Birthday session.
The birthday
2
session.
weeks ago, yeah.
Exactly. And I randomly decided to get it 2 of Asi, but that's not too important. Then the rendezvous happened, and we
That was
saw a bunch
massive.
of cool
Bit
videos
jealous
about
of you,
that.
lad.
That looked massive, and really, I have to fucking save up for April. I have to go.
Yeah,
So
I also
maybe
really
we'll
want to
see
go
you guys
myself.
next year in person.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe,
Who
maybe.
knows?
And I think that's about it. So thank you for listening and for sticking with us. And we hope that the sound quality was a bit better than in the past. And yeah, if
We're
you
getting
have
there. We're getting there.
and if you have any suggestions or improvements or comments, just hit us up. I'm on Instagram at jana.klar.fb. You're on Instagram at,
Sounds fair.
and you're on Instagram.
Julian, Buono.
So yeah, hit us up, and yeah, see you in Berlin if you ever get a chance to stop by. So
Or
Up on-
maybe in Dover.
so up until next time, see you around, and we probably have a new name up till then. So bye.
Bye.
Peace out.